Another crazy day out here at the VoskCoin mining farm. Just got 2 new miners in. One is ridiculous, all right, it's the KS3, but that's not what we're talking about in this video. Watch the KS3 video if you want to learn about that thing. Which, by the way, at the time of recording this, is earning $250 a day. Absolutely nuts. We're gonna be talking about the Bitmain Antminer S19 XP. We just got this one in. Pretty unique scenario here. We actually got this directly from Bitmain. We normally do not get our miners directly from Bitmain. We're going to talk about the pros and cons when it comes to that, what this miner costs, and really kind of compare it in the current landscape of Bitcoin mining, especially against some of the other Bitcoin Antminers that Bitmain is rolling out, and why this has some great overlap with other Bitcoin miners, and a couple unique factors that only apply to the XP that you may not be aware of. So just set up my little handy dandy shelf over here, which by the way was difficult to move by myself. So I employed the jack right here in order to be able to do that. So I kind of was lifting one side and rolling it. I'm sure I looked ridiculous. I'm glad you couldn't see me. All right, so I got a little switch set up here, a couple miners, and so the KS3 is already plugged in and running, and we can see that that miner is consuming about 3,300 watts, a little bit less than 14 amps. And so now we're gonna go ahead and plug in the XP, which is just gonna go right here. You can see that this is using, you know, typical Antminer power cables that you would expect. C13's going in, C20 into this Altair mining PDU. This thing is sweet. I've really been enjoying this. If you head over there and punch in the code VoskCoin, you get this thing delivered to you for less than 100 bucks. You compare that to other PDUs like trip lights and stuff. Oh my gosh, it blows it out of the water. So this thing's booting up. It's kind of chilly in here, so this will quiet down in a second, and I'll show you what it runs like in an environment at the current temperature of 61 degrees Fahrenheit. Not to be confused with Celsius. Mining Bitcoin next to the Bitcoin Supra. Let's go. All right, so this is realistic sound. It's been running for a little bit, getting up to temp. Some of the noise you're hearing is going to be the simple combination of 2 miners running, right? We're not getting really any kind of background noise or bleed of any other sounds right now. If you walk in here, you can hear my miners over there in the Casbah mining corner down there. Those miners are louder. It's a bit hotter in here. I'm just trying to give you a couple of things to compare if you're not familiar with the sounds of miners. Some people are caught off guard by the sound of a full-size ASIC miner. Let me take you over here and let's look at this thing. Right, so this is the Bitmain Antminer S19 XP 141 terahash second version. It's got a power supply version model APW 121215F. F stands for revision, so this is revision F. It's got the black fan shrouds. I really love that they moved to those. They've been, much more enjoyable. The power supplies are serialized. The miners are serialized. They label what control board is in there. We can see that this one has a, come on camera, AM logic. So we've got it powered down here. Let's round up and say that the other miner was using 3,400 watts, or really 3,350 is what it showed. This thing is supposed to consume about 3,000 watts. So we are right on target with the projected power consumption. That's good. You can see we're consuming 26.5 amps. Which puts us pretty much right there in the safe threshold. This is a 30 amp circuit, right? I've got an L6. Dang, that thing is sharp. I just cut my finger. What the fuck? All right, so this is a L630R. It's an L630 receptacle. Got an L630P, L630 plug going in there. So make sure you understand these only run at 240 voltage. You do need a hard wired internet connection for them. So I've got Ethernet right here going into the machine. You know it's getting internet because it blinks. Right, we make it real simple here. So I've got my router, which runs the internet to my switch over here, and then it's broken down to the black wire going to the rest of my farm, and these couple cables are right here. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. What's pretty interesting and unique about this is I got this miner from Bitmain. This is the first miner that they have directly sent me to review. What's interesting is, so, I did receive this miner to review for free, full disclosure as always. We've actually already previously reviewed the XP, so you can check out those videos if you want to see some previous videos. We're going to keep this one kind of, very on target today. What's interesting though is I still had to pay tariffs when I received this. So based on their valuation, I paid almost $700 in import tariffs. So all of your miner orders directly from Bitmain, if you're in the United States, you are going to pay a 25% tariff. So make sure you kind of understand that and work that into your, profitability projections, your business plan, your goal to break even. But I mean, I've had, hundreds of Antminers personally, and the miner looks good, fired right up, simple. So my initial impressions are great. It's doing everything that it's supposed to do. This miner has pretty good efficiency. So it's not quite as efficient as the new S21s, but we'll talk more about that later. Bitcoin's recently gone up in price. The daily emissions are pretty high. It's pretty lucrative to be mining Bitcoin right now, in my opinion. But let's jump behind the computer, log into this, look at the actual mining profitability, look at the network hash rate, and just kind of everything in between. I'll also go over the basics of, kind of setting this up and using the mining pools. If you're totally new to this and you find this a little bit overwhelming and you want to learn more about the whole ASIC application-specific integrated circuit miner mining, check out our new 1-hour video guide. I try to break down any possible question you could have on setting these things up and running them, from the actual machines to the electrical infrastructure you'll need to run them safely and profitably. All right, let's dig into it. So in the last 24 hours, over $33 million of Bitcoin has been emitted to Bitcoin miners. This has been pretty typical for what we've been seeing lately. My Bitcoin miners have been pretty profitable overall. My estimated daily reward for 21 of them, and this is not a straight 21 S19 XP, is 0.0048 Bitcoin, or about $180. In particular, we're looking at the S19 XP. I have the 141 terahash second version. This is technically the 140 that you see on the screen here. At my electric rate, probably cost me about $7 or so a day to run this thing, if not a little bit less, maybe like $6.80. It's projected to mine about $12 a day in Bitcoin. So for me, at my electricity rates, I'm putting like $5 into my pocket per day. Obviously, the elephant in the room is going to be the Bitcoin halving. That's projected out about 153 days. That will cut the amount of Bitcoin mined per day in half, which theoretically halves the rewards. If the rewards are halved, then at a residential electricity rate, this miner is going to be kind of treading water. What's crazy though is the Bitcoin network hash rate continues to hit new all-time high, new all-time high, new all-time high, new all-time high. This pretty much happened, historically, and you can see, Bitcoin went crazy and really topped out in January 2018. And then miners kept building, kept adding, kept building, kept adding. And the halving happened back in that period too, and people just don't really care. But the bottom line is, clearly people are betting quite literally millions and millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars, building out major Bitcoin mining farms. So Bitmain and their Bitcoin miners are not going anywhere. This is a very efficient miner at 21.5 joules per terahash, or about watts per terahash. This performance is real as measured, here by our PDU here on site. In particular, that PDU that I was showing you guys is this one, which looks like it's gone up $10 in price. Well, make sure you punch in the code to save some coin if you grab it. But honestly, this thing is cool. It's super useful. I've really been enjoying these since adding them to my farm a couple months ago. Very useful for Bitcoin miners. They also sell power cables and stuff like that. That's an important thing to note on this miner. You do not receive a power cable that you probably need that would work. You don't receive an Ethernet cable, so make sure you understand that you have those on site. This obviously only works with 240 voltage electricity. And this miner in particular falls in a very interesting in-between of just the current output from Bitmain, right? So the S19K Pro has an efficiency at about 23 joules a terahash. It's, basically slightly worse efficiency than the S19 XP. But because of that, it carries a lower price point, right? Understandably so. The newer, better miners are right here on the horizon, and that's going to be the Bitmain Antminer S21, which boasts an efficiency of 17.5 joules a terahash. And understand, right? I mean, how do you even get that number? What exactly does that mean if you don't know? So let's take 3,500 watts and then divide it by 200, and we get 17.5. So it's essentially, how much electricity you're spending compared with your hash rate, and think of it kind of like MPG, miles per gallon, but in reverse. You want a higher MPG for better fuel economy. You want a lower spend on joules, which is a measure of energy, right? Or watts per terahash. So for example, a 16 joules a terahash would be more efficient than a 20 joules a terahash. So you're paying for the increased efficiency, you're paying for the increased density, and you'll yield higher mining rewards because you'll spend less on your electricity bill, and it just quite literally mines more, right? So 200 terahash by the nature of itself will mine more Bitcoin than 141 terahash. In the current landscape, this quite literally fits, in the middle of their efficient S19 Pro model and the S21. So depending on your budget, this may be the right miner for you, because at the end of the day, not everyone has the money to spend on, say, an S21, because they are more expensive. All right, let's remote into the mining farm, and then let's remote into this miner. So let me get the IP address. All right, so real world mining performance. It's averaging about 143 terahash, which is slightly above what it's advertised and projected to do. Awesome, great. Basically bonus hash rate, free profits, right? As you saw me log in, you just got to find the IP address. You punch in root by default. Again, if you need to learn more about setting these up, make sure to check out our crazy elaborate 1-hour mining guide that goes over everything from running miners, liquid cooling them, to setting up electricity in your house. Anything from beginner to advanced stuff is in there. We go over to the settings. Pretty much, no options here. It runs. It's simple. That's it. You can max out the fan speed. You can put it to sleep. That's it. You got 3 mining pool options. So you punch in your mining pool information there, click save, and that's it. Any kind of issues, diagnoses, check the miner log. Let me just go ahead and zoom out here. You can see the full dashboard a little easier. So we see in this scenario, right, I've got my pools, the connections there. We look at the boards, right? There's 3 hash boards in this. Each one has 110 chips. Statistically, they're basically all error-free. We see the temperatures, air coming in, air going out. That is going to be in Celsius. We see the fan speed. There's 4 fans. We get the readout on all 4 of those. And then the real-time hash rate across these 3 different boards. Chain rate's looking good. Green, 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 green. It's all normal. It's everything you want to see. You can easily restart the miner by clicking restart. That's pretty much it. You shouldn't really need to update the firmware unless you want to later, but that's just as simple as going to system firmware upgrade, uploading the file that you download probably directly from Bitmain there. So this is pretty standard issue Bitmain Antminer ASIC stuff. Simple, effective, it works. All in all, I mean, it's another good miner edition. My key thing to note about the XPs, a lot of the XPs do not work with aftermarket firmware. So definitely do some research on that and make sure if you are planning to do that, that it's actually possible with this miner. Reach out to whoever's making your firmware and you'll get some clarity on that. Contrast it with your miner model version, release date, and control boards and things like that. So that's all I've got today. This is the Bitmain Antminer S19 XP. Looking forward, I mean, this is a profitable miner. It's a good time depending on your electricity rate. No, it's not the most powerful and the most dense like the S21, for example, but it is still, very much a profitable and efficient Bitcoin mining rig that I think will be doing very well in the next Bitcoin bull run. And remember, just like how Bitcoin appreciates in price, any recent mining hardware is probably going to appreciate in price as well. Just like buying coin in the bear market is the dream, such is the same with building a Bitcoin and crypto mining farm. It's not financial advice, but you can check out our CFOO, our Chief Financial Officer, Tails Vosk, because we run 10 seconds of Tails in every video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe, stick around. I'll see you on the next one.